All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a Houston Rockets video for you. Now, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, hit that sub button, and leave a comment. It's greatly appreciated. It really pushes the algorithm out. These videos, these Rocket videos, nobody is watching Rocket videos right now, so any help is greatly appreciated because, man, nobody is watching Rocket videos. So I want to talk about expectations for next season because I think it's important. I see a lot of people, reacting essentially to Cade Cunningham possibility, reacting to the possibility of trading Christian Wood. I kind of want to just break all that down here in today's video as we get ready for next season, because here's the likelihood, and I'll use a comparison of the Memphis Grizzlies. A couple of years ago, the Memphis Grizzlies were not supposed to get the second pick in the draft, and they did fall too. So what did they do? They draft Ja Morant. In Ja Morant's rookie season, they almost make the playoffs. They are so close. Then this year, kind of the same thing, whether or not you think the play-in counts as the playoffs. They had a much better year. They should have made the playoffs, but they lost, the last 6 games. So the best case scenario, in my opinion, for the Houston Rockets is a situation similar to this. But what did the Memphis Grizzlies do? Well, they went out, they got some good free agent additions like Valanciunas, but they also found some great steals in the draft like Bane and Brooks. So the Memphis Grizzlies GM, their organization doesn't get the respect that they should be getting, in my opinion, because this Grizzlies team has some great talent, and they also have the assets to trade for even better talent. So this is going to be a team here in the West that's going to be relevant for the next couple of years at the very least, if they hang on to their core and their core continues to play how they've been playing. So while the Houston Rockets have a 14% chance to get that first pick, you kind of just have to assume that they are not going to get the first pick. Now, if we're talking manifestation, I truly believe in that. I am hopeful that the Rockets get the first pick. I think it's just destiny that the Rockets do. I don't think it's going to go to Detroit. I don't think it's going to go to Minnesota. I really do think it's either going to be the Houston Rockets or just honestly a truly random team like the Raptors or even the Bulls. So whoever falls one's getting Cade Cunningham. So if the Rockets, their 14% chance, they have an 86% chance of not getting Cade Cunningham, essentially is the way I see it. So that means their pick, whether it's 2, 3, or 4, it's pretty important, right? You want to make sure you get the right guy, and you want to make sure moving forward, this is the guy you want to build around. So even if the Rockets go out and they get Cade Cunningham, their starting lineup next year would look something like Cade, KPJ, Jae'Sean Tate, Christian Wood, and then you've got John Wall somewhere in there, and then maybe you've got Kelly Olynyk somewhere in there. So it's a very similar lineup to what they ran with this year, but obviously the hope is that KPJ, Jae'Sean Tate, Christian Wood, and these guys, they just get better in the offseason. Well, only winning 17 games this season, whether it was due to COVID, James Harden drama, new coach, whatever it is, I think it's safe to assume the Rockets will win more than 17 games next year. But I think just being realistic, even if they were to get Cade Cunningham, I don't think that they will make the 8th seed. Now, if there is a play-in tournament, I think they have a very realistic chance of being in the hunt. I just think they definitely would be in the hunt, at least for a majority of the season. Now, I don't think the play-in game is returning next season, so got to get that 8th seed. And you look at the Western Conference, and the Western Conference is just absolutely loaded. I mean, take it, Steph Curry didn't even make the playoffs this year. LeBron James got knocked out in the first round. This Western Conference is very intense. So why I say trade Christian Wood is because here's what I think happens. You run with that lineup next year. Maybe you have DJ Augustine still on the team, Avery Bradley, maybe he accepts the player option. You've got Armani Brooks, hopefully Sterling Brown or Daniel House, one of them, or hopefully one of Sterling Brown, Daniel House, or Dave Nwaba. You've got Anthony Lamb, hope he gets better. KJ Martin's looking really good. Kyrie Thomas, he just got signed to a contract. What I'm trying to get at here is unless they go out and they trade for a superstar talent or KPJ and Christian Wood become all-stars next season, I don't think that they will be getting there. So it gets to the point where after next season, you have Christian Wood. making very little money on one of the best contracts in the NBA. The reason I'm an advocate for trading him is because, and I don't even think they should trade him in the offseason, but I think if the trade deadline comes around and the Houston Rockets are clearly not competitive, if they are competitive, then scratch whatever I'm about to say. But if they're not competitive, I think you at least need to test the market for Christian Wood, because you're either going to lose him for nothing in free agency, or you're going to have to pay him $30 million a year if he continues to hopefully play like this, or at least $25 million. And if your team's only winning 30 games, why are you paying a 28-year-old at the time his contract's over $30 million? So I just kind of wanted to explain that. But I think moving forward next year, if the Houston Rockets get a Evan Mobley, a Jalen Green, or a Jalen Suggs, they're going to need a free agent addition or one of their picks at 22 or 23 to be just kind of like a really good talent, a hidden gem type thing. In order for this squad to make the playoffs, they got to stay healthy. There's a lot of injury concerns over John Wall, over Eric Gordon, and over Christian Wood now. So I think moving forward, what the Houston Rockets need to do in this offseason is try to get rid of any player that does not fit the future. And by that, I mean Eric Gordon, specifically Daniel House Jr. I think Eric Gordon and Daniel House Jr. should be shipped off immediately just because they don't have a role on this team anymore. There's no reason to pay Eric Gordon $16 million a year at age 31 to be playing maybe not even a sixth man next year, because if they end up getting one of these top 4 picks, you've got John Wall, KPJ, Jae'Sean Tate. Unless it's Evan Mobley, I don't know who's going to be starting. You know what I'm saying? Is Jalen Suggs going to start over John Wall, over KPJ, over Jae'Sean Tate? I doubt it. So unless they go out, they get like John Collins and make another trade for a good center or something, and they get Cade or top 4 pick, I think it's safe to assume that this next year is another year of setting the culture, setting the identity, and just paving the way for your future team via KPJ, via Christian Wood, KJ Martin. Hopefully KJ Martin continues to step up. But I think right now the Houston Rockets need to fully build around KPJ, Christian Wood, and whoever they're about to draft. So as far as big moves in free agency goes, Rafael Stone said they were going to be very aggressive. Free agency, draft, trades. I don't know how aggressive that actually is going to be true, because you don't want to waste your cap space right now when you're not quite sure the future of your team. The way John Collins has been playing basketball right now, I would not mind pairing him up with Christian Wood, but it's just major defensive concerns if you have John Wall, KPJ, Jae'Sean Tate, Christian Wood, and John Collins out there. John Collins is only 6'8". Christian Wood is only 225 pounds. So defensively, that team just terrifies me. So I think Stone, if he makes moves in free agency, it's going to be a bunch of low-key moves. Guys like Doug McDermott, or even just younger guys like what he did at the end of the season, signing Kyrie Thomas to a long-term deal. I think this offseason is going to be relatively quiet as far as big names go. I am sure they will be aggressive. I'm sure they will make a trade at some point in the offseason. I don't think Eric Gordon or Daniel House will be on the roster next year, or at least this time next year. I don't think either. I mean, Daniel House's contract will be up by that time, but Daniel House, I see the logic for keeping him. He's a $3.5 million player on it's a great contract, but we have 3 picks. It's time to get these young guys like Anthony Lamb, KJ Martin, Jae'Sean Tate a little bit more run. So next season, I think, and I've said this so many times, I think the Rockets will hover around that 8 to 12 seed, which is not bad. But that's just the way I see their lineup right now. Now, if KPJ takes off, Christian Wood takes off, Jae'Sean Tate takes off, we have a different story on our hands. But for right now, I think it's important to just kind of recognize, especially if they don't get Cade Cunningham, that next year is going to be not necessarily an evaluation year, but another year to just try to progress, because the free agency class after next season is just absolutely loaded. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, just some opinions of mine. Let me know what video you guys want to see down below. Let me know in the comment who you want to draft.